Hello, everyone. Welcome to Onyx Earth Tarot. Everything you need to know about me is in a description box below. So, today's pick a card reading is another fun reading that you all often enjoy. So, we're going to roll on this path of putting out another 18 plus sexual reading. And the specific topic we're going to be looking into is their late night fantasy and sexual thoughts of you. So we're just gonna pull cards, which I already did, and see like what your person that you have on your minds thinking about when they're in bed at night. Like, what are they thinking about? Like, I mean, I guess it's a night dream, like they're not sleeping, so like when they're laying in the bed at night, but they're thinking about about you. So this is the first video that I've uploaded since I realized I had 1,000 subscribers. We're trucking along, adding to the group, adding to the audience, to the tribe. So welcome everyone that's new. We try to get readings out weekly. That does not always happen because I do have a day job, a full-time career. So we're gonna try to dedicate a little more time to the channel as it continues to grow, give you more content. And I am still available for personal readings for those of you that are new and those of you that were inquiring. I have openings, I have slots. I may make some adjustments regarding the scheduling and my availability, so just stay posted for that information as it comes out. Let's see. When I say 18 plus, I mean that minors are not allowed here, so skedaddle. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's all I have. So we're gonna start this off the way that we always do. You're gonna pick from left to right, 1, 2, 3. I'll give you a second to select your pile. If you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. All right, pile 1, their late night fantasy and sexual thoughts about you. So, the person you're asking about, okay, this is a person that if they get their hands on you, like the goal is to please you. Like that's a lot of what this person's fantasizing about late at night, when they're alone, when they're not alone. There's just a key focus on performance here, desperately wanting to be good to you, okay? Making sure that you're fulfilled, making sure you feel good before, during, and after sex, okay? Now, with that Two of Swords, this is a person that probably feels like they shouldn't be fantasizing about you or thinking about you in that way. It's possible. So this is someone that may not be sharing their sexual fantasies, their sexual desires with you, okay? Especially with that Moon card. I know that the question that we asked is very specific to this person's late night fantasy, but it's very important for me to note that even if I wouldn't have asked about late night fantasy, that's just naturally when this person allows themselves to think about you the most. Like that's when they naturally think of you. That's naturally when their thoughts flow in your direction, basically. So with that imagery of the Two of Swords, and I'm sorry I'm focusing on that a lot, but it's like calling to me first, so I'm just gonna get those messages. But with that card combined with the Moon and the Star, like that's why I'm getting that like they're already thinking about you heavily at night. So like right now, if this person is in a relationship with someone else, or if they're just not with you, they're single and exploring their options, they get very quiet when having sex with someone else because they're afraid they'll accidentally say your name. Like some of y'all are living a scandalous life to some degree. But that's a message, right? They think this person is thinking of you during sex with anyone else if they're sexually active with other people. That's definitely the case. So If you're not with this person, if they're with someone else, or if they're exploring their options, they're thinking of you, envisioning you, fantasizing about you the time they're having sex with someone else, okay? So this is a person that stares at pictures of you late at night as well. Like that's something that they do, and there's just a lot of secrecy surrounding the connection for whatever reason, especially with that blindfold on that Two of Swords. And then on the Ten of Pentacles, there's someone hiding under the table. This person's very much hiding their attraction and desire for you for whatever reason. Like, don't know how they're doing that, don't know why they're doing that, but that's the energy of the pile. But yeah, because that Two of Swords feels like some type of boundary with the imagery on that specific card. And then you have on the two ends of the bottom, you've got the Seven of Cups and the Six of Cups. So not only is this person staring at your photos late at night, this is a person that's watching lots of porn, like lots of porn, and they're specifically watching porn that relates to you, like that reminds them of you. Yeah, definitely. So like there may be, like, if this person's watching porn and it feels like a lot of them are in this pile, there may be a specific porn star they found that favors you in some way. Like they may physically look like you in some way, they may have your mannerisms, and even if the person you're asking about hasn't found like a specific porn star that reminds them of you, like they're just looking at porn stars that remind them of you in general, and or they're tracking storylines that fit with your situation, whatever that is. Like if there's that forbidden element that may be there because of the secrecy I'm getting from the pile. Not that all of you it's a secret thing. Some of you it's just private, right? It's not necessarily a secrecy thing. It's just some people are very private, and this person that you're asking about is very much so. So it doesn't have to be scandalous in nature. But this person would be tracking storylines with porn stars that look like you and or them physically, storylines that are situations they've found themselves in with you, whether sexual or not. Like it's nothing creepy or illegal, just like some of you may be in scandalous situations. So like if you find yourself in a third party situation, like they'll be seeking out porn where someone's like, I guess, cheating, or if there's like that forbidden mentor, teacher, possibly work example, like they'll look for porn with storylines about being in the workplace, things like that. So that's what this person's doing late at night, and that's how they're thinking of you. Some of you, like when they're looking out like porn, looking for porn, sorry, it's even like gender, race, and ethnicity based, right? In terms of the genres they're looking for when they seek out situations and storylines that reflect you and them, right? Because the whole purpose of the way that this person's seeking out porn, because I don't think this person's like addicted to porn or anything, because I know I mentioned that they watch it a lot. They do, but it's very specific to them wanting to see, like, have a visual for you and them, right? Like they want to be able to see, it's almost like they want to be able to see themselves and you in whatever scene they're watching. That's the purpose. That's how they're utilizing it late at night when they're fantasizing about you. Not like, it doesn't seem overly toxic like it could be. But yeah, this person's definitely not just laying in the bed fantasizing about you. They're definitely using some type of photos, videos, when that's the energy here, regardless of if it's porn. They're watching photos, they're looking at photos of you, they're watching videos, and even if they're looking at photos, this person's a bit strange. They may be looking at photos of like models and such that look like you, right? There's an emphasis on making sure that they have some type of physical character that mirrors you in some way if they don't have access to video and pictures of you. And those of you that they do, it's still not enough. Like a lot of them are still like seeking out porn because they want to see a sexual act occurring that they can visualize in their head and physically see that emulates you and them. So this person is very much into role play, which makes sense given that they're watching porn and all of these storylines that they want to see themselves and you in. They like, this person loves games and challenges. So this is a person that would play strip poker with you, right? So they fantasize about that. They fantasize about like, for example, that chess game that's happening on the 10 of Pentacles. Like they fantasize about, you know, having like playing a game of some sort with you in that way and making some type of sexual bet or some type of sexual wager surrounding that competition, right? And like, this person's very much into their senses when it comes to you, specifically sight and touch. Like they're very into observing your body, right? If this person is creative, and they feel like they may be, like, for example, if they're into photography, or if they're they draw pictures, if they're into painting, this person has various sketches or pictures they took of you themselves that they admire at night, with emphasis on your chest area. I'm feeling like a lot of you in this pile are feminine or physically feminine to some degree, and like they just fantasize about your body. Like they want to touch your body. That's what they fantasize about a lot, is having you in their arms, having you in their grasp, and just being able to touch you all over. That's what they think about late at night. And most of you, this person has a lot of stamina. Like like with the 7 of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, this person fantasizes about having multiple rounds of sex with you, like having you in multiple positions. Like this person has stamina. Like they can go for a long time, or at least they think they can. I'm feeling like they can based on the energy from here, but they at least perceive themselves as being able to go for a long time, many times. But it's just really an emphasis on taking their time with you. That's really what this is all about. Really savoring the moments with you, savoring the experience, experiencing it with all of their senses, right? That's why it's the emphasis on seeing you, the attention to detail, right? Like if these people are artists, like if they're drawing you or painting you, taking pictures, like the attention to detail when it comes to you, how you look, your body and everything, that's pivotal to this person's fantasy, and it would stem over to real life if you ever engaged in sexual encounters with them. And some of you with that 6 of Cups may have had sex with this person before, and even if not, like there are memories with this person to some degree. Like it doesn't have to be years worth of memories. It's like there's been some encounters to some degree. Like this isn't a faraway crush that you've never engaged with, is what I'm saying from this pile. Like even if it's just a crush, this is a crush that you have experiences to some degree with, not necessarily sexual. Let's see. Yeah, this is a person that fantasizes about all of their experiences with you, both sexual and non-sexual. That's why I said that, because of that 6 of Cups. But like this is a deep connection that they have with you, with all of these major arcana cards, because you have the Star, you have the Lovers, you have the Moon, the Wheel of Fortune, the Empress, and it's just like a very deep connection. And you even have like that throwback combination. Everybody, like anybody that reads tarot, if you start learning, like there's like those combinations that are like, this means this is a soulmate, this means whatever, like when they're teaching you how to read cards. And you have the Lovers and the 6 of Cups. So like I said, that's like the throwback soulmate combination. So that's the energy of you and this person right now. And like this person like is in love with you, if it hasn't been made clear so far. just the way that they think about and fantasize about sex with you. Just their fantasies just feel like a person that's in love. It's not like a sexual fetish. It's not like, you know, a conquest. It's not, you know, get in, get out, move on. It's like, this is a person that could see themselves having a future with you, because like, they think about you all night, just in general, not just from a sexual perspective. And they worry a lot about all the options you have romantically, because it feels like you have a lot of options, like that Seven of Cups, lots of options, and they're just worried about losing you, whether they have you currently or not. It like, there's an emphasis on them feeling like they're gonna lose you and worrying about that a lot. But because of that, they think about ways to make sure that you are theirs. Even if you're not currently, they think about and fantasize about ways to make sure that you are theirs only. So this person is not open to sharing you in any way with anyone. And if you're with someone else, or imply that you are with someone else, or if you try to discuss your past relationships, this person is the type to pretend that that never happened. Like, they don't want to hear about anybody before them. They don't want to hear about anybody like during any breaks. Like, they don't want to engage with you in terms of you talking about any other person you've been in a romantic connection with, not even just sexual. Like, the idea of you being with somebody else irates them. So, like, it makes them irate. That's not a word, irates them. But for whatever reason, it came out that way. So that may be relevant. Let me see. Yeah. So this is somebody that has an emphasis on security when it comes to you. Like with that 10 of Pentacles and that Empress, like, this is a person that fantasizes about like being married to you. And like, even if it's not like marriage is not a thing for you two, it's like they fantasize what life would be like if you co-inhabited, like if you lived together and you were in a long-term relationship in the same household, whatever that looks like for you. They think about that a lot. They fantasize about that a lot, especially at night. So like, and I'm getting an interesting take of them fantasizing about giving you money to prepare for them. So it may have a lot to do with that foreplay energy, that energy of putting on a show I was getting earlier, where they want you to dress up and such, because like it just, there's an energy of them fantasizing about giving you money to like buy lingerie, a costume, makeup, toys, whatever, just so that you can set a scene for them in real life. Like this is what we're gonna do later, go get ready kind of energy. And yeah, it just feels like this is just very stable energy. Like, I feel like this person lays in the bed at night and wishes you were there, right? Like, don't get me wrong, it's a hypersexual energy. Like, this person wants to like possibly blindfold you, tie you up. Like, there's some minor kinks in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wanting to tie you up so that you can't move as they touch you. You just have to feel through it. Like, they are into it. Like, they're very into the touchy, making sure you feel them energy. But it's just very stable. It's not from a wild, fiery energy. I guess that's the words I'm thinking of. I'm gonna pull some other cards and lay them on top of these so that we can get some additional messages regarding this. Give me 1 second. Okay, I have the additional cards, and I see that energy that I was getting just now before I pulled more cards, and it makes a lot of sense. There's so much stability with this person, and there's like, honestly, the stamina is real with this one. I know I talked about earlier how this person may, like, at a minimum thinks that they can go for long periods of time. Like, the cards say that this person has the stamina they think they have. So I don't know if that's surprising, but like I intuitively got that that was surprising for whatever reason. This person must really be like low key and like, I mean, this is a silent but deadly lover. Like this is somebody that like you'll get caught up in your feelings with if you aren't already. You better watch it, okay? Because like this is a very attentive lover. And yeah, like I said, the stamina is real, especially with that strong Capricorn energy right there, just because that's like a hard work effort type of energy coming through sexually from a sexual perspective. But like also this is a strong, not only a strong, passionate but vocal lover, right? This person is good about talking you through it, and they fantasize about you talking back to them, right? Like this is a person that's good at listening to your sexual needs, both like vocally as you're talking to them, but they're also very in tune with your body. Like they're very good about listening to your body and like responding to your body as it talks and reacts to them physically, right? Like this person is not going to be the type of person that asks you if you can't. They will know. And this is also a person that would know if you faked it, and they would be very offended. So like that's the energy of this person. Like they would be able to tell. There is no lying to this person, and I'm feeling like that's not just sexual. Like when it comes to this person, they'll be so in tune with you, your mannerisms, and your behavior to where you won't be able to lie to them. It doesn't matter if you're a good liar to other people, not to this person. They're just too like the attention to detail when it comes to you. Like even if they're not, like let's say they're a big picture person and they don't have an attention to detail, generally when it comes to you, they know every part of your body, they know every mannerism, every face, like they know you. So they're very in tune with your body, and they know very much how to maneuver it. And like, I mean, just that Capricorn Gemini combination, and again, that doesn't have to be your person's signs. It may be maybe yours, but like that's just the energy of the sexual thoughts, right? The strong, hardworking Capricorn energy, the vocal, clear communicating Gemini energy, right? That's the energy. That's the type of lover this person is. That's the type of fantasies this person is having, right? Very passionate but very stable. And with all that Gemini energy here, this person loves to talk and listen, okay? And I'm getting, and maybe that's why they, like I got the porn earlier, like they do like the visual, they do like to see, but maybe it's like they like to hear. Maybe like there's like I said, those of you where there's like a specific porn star that favors you, like they like to listen to this person's voice and envision that it's you. And they also love your voice naturally in real life too. They're trying to put a visual on something I guess they can't have right now, because for whatever reason there's a lot of like it clearly they can't have you right now if they're if they're up at night watching porn instead of like having sex with you. So let's see, but with that energy of communication, that Gemini energy, I'm hearing that this person loves music and that there are specific songs that turn them on because it relates to your connection. So there's some very specific playlists this person has that they're listening to because it reminds them of you and it turns them on as they think of you. And then with that air card following that Gemini, it complements all of this stable earth energy like that this person wants. Like this person not only wants to have sex with you and is fantasizing about it late at night, they want to have sex with only you, and they want to do it all the time, right? They want to learn what your body craves, test your body's responses to them. Like this person's, like with that air card specifically, this person's very much open to anything that pleases you, but that's only with you. Like they wouldn't, like they're not this adventurous with other people. Like they wouldn't be exploring sex with other people in the way that they're open to exploring it with you. And again, emphasis on only you, because they're not interested in bringing other people in. Like that's not something this person would agree to. especially with that fourth house card following it. Like they're adventurous, but not that adventurous. So right, like with that fourth house, it's the emphasis on, like I said, that stability energy, like that, like they want to domesticate you. I know that sounds almost like a pet, but like it's really not like a pet, I promise. It's just they fantasize about you being really comfortable, like in the house, like in loungewear, like if you walk around in your underwear at home, like they think about that. They wonder about that. Like this person lays in the bed late at night thinking about, like, I wonder how such and such like dresses at home. Like that's the legit thing. Like they fantasize about, like, you know, being at home with you and what you look like at home. So I'm feeling like you're very put together usually. So this person might really see you when you're often dressed up or very well put together, and they want to see what it looks like when you're quote unquote loose or disheveled, when you're relaxed, like when you're just lounging about without being on a mission or being dolled up or being dressed up or put together. Like if you're a male, you like, if you're not in your suit or like just put together all the time is how they see you for whatever reason. That's the energy of this pile. But following this fourth house card, you have hibernation, and then you have rejuvenate, and that is really that domesticating energy. Like I don't, like I'm getting that, like, okay, like that's the fantasy. You in the house with them, you in the bed with them, because it's late at night, right? They think about, like, if you were in the bed with them, like having you there, having you multiple ways that night, every night, consistently, right? Without having to call you over, you're already there. It's just but because you have that hibernation rejuvenate combination, I feel like you're really uptight. Like you must be really uptight, Power One, as a person, and maybe that's that energy. Because like I took it as like put together, like, and you most likely are well dressed, just very well put together when you're out and about in public, outside of your house. But like it's also like an uptight energy, right? So it's just this person deeply fantasizes about loosening you up and making you relax. Like that is a thing that turns them on. Like the idea of them making you relax. Like this person has emphasis on like making sure that you have an orgasm. Like that is a goal for them, like every time, multiple times if they can. And like I was saying, like that's an energy of like this person really wanting to make you relax, really wanting to take you down, really wanting to put you to bed. And it's just something about you that makes them like feel like you need to release some pent up aggression. And they are up to task. Like that, they fantasize about, like, if I could just get this person, they wouldn't be as stuck up as they are. I don't know why that's the energy you're giving off, Power One, but that's the energy you're giving off. Like, you know, like that's a front, that's an act. If, you know, if I get my hands on this person, like they're gonna loosen up. That's how this person's like thinking in the late night about you. And like softening you up, just making you a little more agreeable via sex, right? So like this person has lots of fantasies about, like I said, you two being in a bed, on the sofa, like something about you being disheveled and just not put together. It would be very satisfying for them. Like but it's not just that. It's not just like the ego thing of like wanting to take you down and make you simmer down. It's also like this person really wants to be a source of comfort for you. Like they just really want to be like home to you. They want you to be comfortable. They want you like in their home with them, like safe, taken care of, comfortable. You know, not just about the easy access to sex. But I'm actually shuffling right now, which I don't normally do on camera, because I think I want to get another oracle card just because I can. And we'll see if we can get any other messages about their late night sexual thoughts. And I'll just throw it on the top as it comes out, or up as I feel called to pull. And this one came out. And what did I just say, y'all? Well-being. This person is really concerned about your well-being, very much. And at the bottom we have hydrate, and that's just this person's nature. This person's very sweet. They just really, like, at night fantasize about, like, I'm feeling like because you have that well put together stuck up energy, pile one, not calling you stuck up. Okay, I am calling you a little bit because this person is up late at night thinking about that. But like, they really want to concentrate on being a safety net for you, your well-being, making sure like you have the things you need, right? Hydrate, you may be needing to drink more water, but that also could be a reference to them wanting to take showers with you, take baths with you. It also could be very much a play on like arousal, making you wet, you making them wet. They genuinely, I don't know why this is coming through exactly like that, but that well-being hydrate combination feels like they think sex with them would be good for you. This person is a character. Like, this person's like having sex with me is exactly what pile one needs. Like, that's what they need. I bet you they'd be fine if they would just have sex with me. And that's this person's energy that they're giving. That's how it's coming out. But again, it's also kind of a play on like some oral. So they're really intrigued about possibly doing that. But they just want to lay in the bed with you and have you in the house, really. Like, I don't even see this person wanting to leave the house. Like, if you're not dating this person, when you date this person, like, this person wants like just to lay in the house with you. Like, that is it. That is it. Like, they just want to be having sex with you all the time, and they want to be in the house with you, which, I mean, if that's what you like, if that's what you love, you know, go for it. But that is exactly this person's perspective. But this is a good stable person for you, pile one. Like, if it goes there beyond the sexual nature, like, this is a good match for you. Like, this is a person with lots of love, lots of care, a very good provider. I can see just based on the cards, right? You've got that Capricorn card, you've got the King of Pentacles, the Empress, like, lots of stability here. There's even the 10 of Pentacles. This is a person that if you have or want a family, this is a person that can provide for a family. Absolutely. And that is a key focus on you. Like, I don't know if they feel like you're stuck up, your lack of security issues, but like, they feel like they could stabilize that energy and open you up, right? So and I also, if you're not in communication with this person, I wanted to say that because I can still see I use those cards so much that I know what they mean. I mean, I can see what they say even partially, but that full moon in Capricorn and full moon in Gemini. So they say the end of a tough cycle approaches and the answers you need are coming. So with those two messages, it feels like if you haven't been in communication with this person, you should expect some soon, or some news regarding this person soon. Just something like that. And if things have been tough, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Things will balance out, and not just necessarily in terms of this connection, but your life in general. So that's just some general messages that came through towards the end for you, pile one. Also, make sure that you are resting appropriately and that you are drinking a lot of water, because hibernation is screaming at me, well-being is screaming at me. Hydrate and rejuvenate. Make sure you're eating the proper foods, drinking enough water, stay hydrated, and giving your body what it needs, because those are also messages that are coming through for you. Okay, so that is all I have for you today. If this resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, pile two, their late night fantasy and sexual thoughts about you. So some of y'all, like, I feel like y'all are coming back from previous readings, which is good, but like there's been a hot trend of y'all not really of the people y'all are asking about, the people you're in these connections with being like day and night with you, right? Because we've got that again here with the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups from two separate decks, right? Anytime I see it from two separate decks, I've been, at least lately, reading it like two different people from two different worlds almost, right? Because even if you look at the imagery and the way that they're positioned, right? It just feels like there's definitely some distance between you two, likely some sort of gap, could be age, could be experience, could be cultural, because like I said, two different counterparts from two different decks, the Queen of Cups at the beginning, the King of Cups at the end of the spread. It also highlights the fact that the more masculine of you two is definitely ahead of the curve in some way, a little more advanced than you in some area of your lives. So now I'm just going to say that the person that you're asking about is definitely a wild and passionate lover. Like they're an initiator when it comes to sex. Like they're the type of person that when they're in the mood, they're going to let you know. Because that's a strong energy. And like, yeah, you do have that King of Wands there, but it just, with that Five of Wands, this person is a very active and passionate lover. And this person is currently trying to find, like, they're seeking a foundation for stability right now. So this is someone that's learning to stabilize, whether it's sexually, in whatever area of their life. And that's the first energy that's coming through. So like I said, it could be in terms of sex. We'll develop that energy and see, but it feels like they're learning stability right now. And I'm seeing especially so because of that Ace of Pentacles and that Three of Pentacles. That's like working towards something, beginning to build something, right? So this person, for whatever reason, when it comes to you, they know that they'll have to be less selfish. Like they're feeling like they're going to have to be a less selfish lover specifically. And they definitely think about this late at night, right? So they think about how they'll have to work with your body, right? Three of Pentacles, fulfill your needs with the Six of Pentacles, give into your needs more as much as you give them, right? In balance with that Justice card. And also, like, with that World card reverse, it feels like they know that they can't finish too quickly, right? Not, I don't know if that's been an issue, but that's what this person's fantasizing about, knowing they'll have to take their time, knowing they'll have to slow down and take it a bit easy so that they don't finish fast. And it's feeling like this energy of not being as selfish, as aggressive, as self-serving is very new to this person. And that's part of the fantasy of being with you, right? And I'm also seeing, just side note, that with the scales imagery, with the weapons, like there's the wands, the swords and everything, it feels like this person really likes sex toys and or supplies. Like it doesn't have to be like sex toys that penetrate. It could just be like handcuffs, ties, things like that. But it's looking like this person may also, even if it's not current energy, like they've been into threesomes before, they've been in the orgy group sex before with that Three of Pentacles and that Five of Wands. But I want to get back to that energy of them, like the other side of that energy of them thinking about being more giving, especially when it comes to sex. And it's because when it comes to that late night fantasies about you, it's mostly looks like it's been about pleasing them, especially after a fight, right? Like this, there's a fantasy here regarding makeup sex. Like late at night, they lay in a bed thinking about makeup sex with you, and I'm getting that primarily from that Five of Wands. Right, so that combative energy from that Five of Wands, and then like with it following that, it's like the Ace of Pentacles and then the Justice card. And then even that Six of Pentacles at the top, it's like, it's basically an energy of, how are you going to make this right? Right? How are you going to make this up to me after a heated argument? And that's part of the late night fantasies. Like, they lie in bed at night thinking about like getting mad at you, getting you mad at them, and like they even fantasize about like scenarios where you try to leave them or they try to leave you, and the other person is like, you're not going anywhere. That's the type of fantasies they have late at night when it comes to sex. So it's like this weird aggressive foreplay that they like. And I'm getting a more energy coming through, so it makes sense that this person would have that type of energy. Like, that would be foreplay to them, like upsetting you upsetting them, because that feels like the dynamic with the type of sex that they like. Like, it just feels like late at night they fantasize about having to work for the reward of having you please them, right? And vice versa. So and not just like aggressively towards you. They fantasize about seeing you after a rough day, right? Like, they're having a rough day and then seeing you and you doing everything they desire sexually to them to make them feel better, right? Things like that. And this is a person that really likes to be touched, right? So like late at night, they fantasize about your hands touching, caressing them until they reach their peak. Like, that's this person. So yeah, they really fantasize about the chase. There's something about the chase. Like, there's a huge fantasy surrounding chasing you, claiming you as theirs. And this is the type of person that will say like, you're mine, you're stuck with me, never leave me during sex. Like, these are words that would come out of their mouth. And late at night, they fantasize about like saying that to you. But I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at the Justice card. There's something binding about that energy. Like, something about, like, something about that Justice card and something about that World card reverse. It just feels like never ending energy, being stuck with each other energy. So this could be an on again, off again connection. But again, this person has a thrill relating to the chase. So they probably, even if it's not an on again, off again connection, like they get a rush thinking about chasing you or you chasing them. So like, if you try to leave them, like, they're the type to like try to like follow you and like show up and like try to persuade you to come back. Like, that's part of the fantasy, the sexual fantasy with them. And like, I don't know, it just yeah, this person's really stuck on you and you're stuck on them as well. But like, that's the dynamic. Like, it feels like a kind of, like I said, you're into toys, so it's like a bondage type of thing, but that's part of the foreplay as well. So I'm gonna pull some additional cards and lay them out on top of these, and then we'll get some more messages. All right, pile 2, and we're back. So yeah, this person's definitely stuck on you. Like the keys, like there's a key fantasy surrounding claiming you, conquering you, never letting you leave. Okay, so like heavy themes of making you like they're submissive. Especially with that disseminating moon, which is the first card to the left from the Moonology deck. It's the one in reverse. And with that card in reverse, like it says, take time to breathe out. So like they fantasize about being in control over you sexually to the extent of like, breathe when I say breathe. Like, that's the energy. Like, that person's gonna be like, don't come until I say you can. Like, that's the fantasy, right? And vice versa, because there's an energy of balance here. Even if they don't say it directly, because I'm gonna get to the energy I'm picking up in a second, but like, it feels like you may not realize that they want it reciprocated, that energy. So yeah, like, then with that fixed moon, like, not fixed moon, but like all the way to the right, you've got the fixed card and the opposition card. And it's interesting just having that anyway, because like you've got the King and Queen of Cups, which is like their counterparts, which they're opposites. Um, and then like with that fixed, it's stuck together. So give me a second to step into this energy. Yeah, so yeah, it's like I said, but the coupling, the connection is a bit kinky, which go you, if that's what you're interested in, like between you and this person, because this person's a bit kinky for real. Like they like to be, this person likes to be in control, and with that cardinal moon card, they like to initiate, right? But with that, be bold and make the first move on that. It just feels like a dare for you. Like it feels like they're daring you, pal, to in two ways. It's um like they want you to be bold so that they can punish you, because again, I'm getting that like submissive energy, like sexually, but they also secretly, and that's the energy I was picking up on, secretly they want to switch, right? You've got all of these balance type cards, the Six of Pentacles underneath, the Justice underneath, like balance, right? You've got, you have that full moon in Pisces, which says balance, spirituality, and practicality. And then you've got that opposition. This person wants to switch secretly. They haven't said it. They're probably intimidated to say it, but they want to switch. They don't know if you'll be comfortable switching, but that's what they want to do. So basically, like if you're always the submissive, they want you to be the dom. And they often late at night think of this, right? So like even if you're not having sex like that with this person, it just means that this person fantasizes about switching with you in that way. Like you sometimes even if you, like, let's say you're a vanilla couple that none of this resonates, this person fantasizes about you initiating sex instead of it being them all the time, right? Like you taking the initiative sometimes. And I'm seeing, especially with expansion and purify, that overall, pile too, this person may want you to be less passive sexually, or if you're the aggressor, they want you to be more passive sexually. And they also want to switch up the styles of sex. So those of you that are less adventurous, they'd like to be a little more. Those of you that are more adventurous, all over the place, have multiple people in your sex life, they kind of want to tone that down as well. Like they don't want to they want to purify the connection a little bit. They want to like they're desiring less experimental alternative styles of sex, and they want more romantic, passionate one-on-one sex with you without all of the extra toys and such. Like they just kind of want to enjoy you sometimes in balance, because there's an emphasis on balance here. So what I did for pile 1 was I grabbed this deck and I pulled some additional cards. So I think I'm just going to continue that. I almost forgot too. So let me shuffle and see what we get, pile 2. What other messages we get regarding this person. Late night sexual fantasies. Like what they think about late at night in regards to you and their sexual fantasies. Let's see if I can get something. I think pile 1 only got like 1 card and an overview. And okay. You got 1 card too. I just stopped and took the bottom after. And sorry, the way that my camera is positioned, I just wanted to not knock it over. That's why I'm sometimes awkward with the way that I do the camera and I position the cards. But so yeah, you've got triggers and sincere relationships. What was I just talking about? So those of you that are because I feel like some of you here have somebody that wants to be a little more there's 2 sides of you. There's some of you that are almost like if you're not in a relationship, this is the person's perception of how a relationship would be, right? So part of the fantasy and how they perceive you. So this applies whether you're in a connection or not. So those of you that are 100% vanilla, don't really experiment, this person's wanting to explore more, right? They're comfortable, they're confident in your relationship and just their comfort level with you in general, and they're hoping you feel the same way, that they would like to try a little more adventurous things. Nothing too extreme, but just, you know, levels to this, right? Balance. Those of you that have very adventurous sex lives within your relationship, some of you are in an open relationship. That person doesn't want to do that anymore. That, like, you have the King of Cups, the Queen of Cups, doesn't matter what your genders are. This person is not comfortable doing those things anymore at this stage of the relationship. It's triggering them literally, because they feel like now you're in a genuine connection. And you have Justice at the bottom, I think you do have Justice underneath. I can't see it anymore, so I'm just guessing at this point. And like, this person feels like you're in a committed connection, like a stable connection, and they're almost at the point where they feel like people that are in the relationship you're in don't do those things. And like I said, if you're not in a romantic connection with someone, and like you're just asking about like a crush or whatever, their emotions towards you, like they're trying to wrap their head around what sex like would even be like with you, because of the nature of the connection, right? Because you have sincere relationships and then you have triggers. So it's almost like trying to find their way, figure out what's right and what's wrong, what's a good way to approach you sexually, what's not a good way to approach you sexually. That's the energy of this pile. And those of you in that specific scenario where I said this person wants to switch and possibly even take it down a notch in terms of how adventurous you are, this is a double down message confirming that, with that triggers and sincere relationships combination. Okay, let me see if I see any additional messages. I will say that there is some general advice here to not hold back your thoughts and feelings with this person. Like it feels like a confirmation to speak your mind, be honest and open with this person, especially if you're in a connection where you are sexually active, and you may need code words to make sure that you're using your code words, like the words that, you know, when it's too much for you, you need to make sure that you're saying that. There may have been an incident, or this person may have concerns that you're not open and honest with them during sex about what your comfort levels are. Like they're concerned that they're pushing you too far and you're not saying anything. Like they can tell, but you're just kind of going with it and not being vocal enough. So they also, that worries them. That possibility, if it's not already happened, the possibility of them pushing you too far and you not saying anything bothers them. So that is all I have for you today, Pile 2. If this resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, Pile 3. Their late night fantasy and sexual thoughts of you. So this is a very beautiful spread, and you two just really appear to be a perfect match, just outside of the sexual fantasies, or at least they perceive you two to be as well, like as such. But it just feels like that's the nature of this connection, whether you're together or not. You have the Emperor and the Empress directly side by side. They're not separated in any way, like they are there together. Yeah, it just, that's a powerful energy, especially with that 10 of Cups. Then you have the 7 of Pentacles and like the 2 Fool cards, and they actually fell that way. Like that's like I did each row, and that they fell right on top of each other that way. So that's a very interesting theme for this spread. This is just, it just feels like a very stable, fulfilling connection. Okay, and I know the second row has cards that are like, traditionally people get scared when they see them when looking at like how someone feels or what they're thinking, but honestly, that's just to spice things up. I know Yeah, that's definitely just to spice things up. There may be some underlying issues, but nothing's perfect, right? Because you've got the reason why I say I wouldn't worry about it, and we'll see as I develop the energy, is because with the Four of Cups and the Four of Pentacles on two sides, those are two cards of stability. The number four rules stability. So this is a stable connection. There just may be some underlying things to tap into. But I will say, with those two full cards, this person's late night fantasies centered around you, they're like, it focuses on like traveling and adventures and trying new things, like all the ways that they can enjoy you, for you two to enjoy each other, like you two enjoying one another, like on trips, on adventures, just learning new things in general about each other and the world. And with the Fool card being ruled by Uranus, and Aquarius, they fantasize about the element of surprise when it comes to sex with you. Notice the images on all these cards. These are images of people doing something, being busy, active in some way. And this person fantasizes about like you interrupting them interrupting you while you're working, socializing with friends, cooking, something like that, right? Interrupting you so you can like sneak off and have sex, or so you can kind of just have sex in the spot, like if it's just you two, that type of energy. So like this is a person that's fantasizes about like coming up behind you while you're on the balcony, right? Behind you while you're at the kitchen counter, sometimes like possibly even startling you because of the imagery of the Four of Cups. Like in that card, the cup is just kind of dropped over the balcony, right? Like, oh, like scaring you a little bit almost because you weren't expecting them to show up. And it just shows that yeah, this person really likes, just like the element of surprise is a huge theme here. And I'm wondering, like I'll tap into that in a little bit, like what I'm getting at with that element of surprise energy. But this person does fantasize about various scenarios where they could surprise you with sex. You can surprise them with sex. And with this Four of Swords, like they fantasize about waking you up with sex, waking them up with sex. And like even that Four of Cups, because that's like an energy of like being disinterested, possibly rejection and everything, which I'll develop it further. But like here right now, like it's as part of the sexual fantasy that this person fantasizes about you two like possibly like sneaking off and having sex like while you're with friends, and then coming back like it never happened, like coming back like serious, like regular, like people are like, hey, where'd you two go? Oh, we just went to the store. Like dead serious, like you went to the store but you came back with no groceries. Like that kind of energy. So like I'm seeing with that Ten of Swords, the imagery there, that if either of you have like male sexual parts, organs, external parts, I know I'm talking weird, it's just trying to describe it appropriately. Either way, this person's fantasizing about those parts being put like against the person that doesn't have them's face and body, and rubbing it like against the other person's body, like externally, versus just penetration. So like that's a fantasy for this person as well. Yeah, this person definitely fantasizes about oral. If you look at that Five of Swords, the tongue is out. This person's definitely thinking like and fantasizing about that late at night. And then if you look at the Ten of Swords, like there's a sword in that person's mouth as well. So like that's a very common theme in this person's late night fantasies. I think I'm gonna take this moment because in the other two piles I grabbed three other decks and I pulled cards. So I'm gonna take a second and do that right now so we can get more information on this person's sexual fantasies and late night thoughts. Okay, so our cards are laid out, and I feel like the energy I was coming in through. Like I did say there was not necessarily a reason for concern regarding that second row in those cards. And honestly, overall, there wasn't. But with these cards now, we do see that, and I got it heavily with that Four of Swords, not the Four of Swords, probably that, but like I think it's the Five of Swords underneath that, and then there was the Four of Cups for sure. I knew that one was there. But like one thing to watch out with this person is that they lack boundaries, which may or may not be an issue for you. It's not like an aggressive, dangerous energy I'm getting from this person, but it just depends on your perspective and how familiar you two are with one another, because it's really exposing that energy of this person fantasizes about getting you aroused a lot, right? Turning you on to the extent of fantasizing about persuading you to have sex when you don't feel like it, right? And vice versa. It's not just one-sided. Like it's not like predator energy. Like they even like they're like, okay, get me in the mood. Like they want you to do that to them sometimes as well, or are okay with you persuading them when you're in the mood. So it just basically having sex with you, and like those cards underneath, I'm looking at the 10 of Swords, 5 of Swords, and 4 of Swords. It's almost like going until you can't anymore, like wanting to have sex until you can't anymore, like until you tire yourself out, or just not stopping, right? So with that, a time for healing card in reverse, it doubles down on that no breaks energy from those other cards, and following that, a time to give rather than take. Like it's almost like putting out, like it's like it's a time to give rather than take. So like it's like you may not feel like it, but your partner wants it, so like you should be having sex with them, which is not the case if that's not what you want. But that, again, like I said, this person kind of has issues with boundaries, not aggressively so, but that's part of the fantasy. Like I'm not even certain that this person would even like act that out in real life, because again, we're asking what this person's thinking about late at night in the bed, in their own head, in their own world. Doesn't mean that that's how they would proceed in real life, but that's just the fantasy. And like I said, it's up to you how you take it. Like it could be offensive energy for you, it may not, but the perspective of them wanting to persuade you to have sex, getting you aroused, turning you on, and then wanting you to do that the same. It's like you have that 12th house card, right? Which it rules secrets, imprisonment. It's like we're in this coupling together, we're stuck together, so we may as well like make sure each other's getting what they need. I know that's a pessimistic perspective, and I'm not saying that's this person's perspective, but it's like the Empress and the Emperor, that's very mature couple energy, and it's like we need to make sure we're getting our needs met together. So like I said, it's not a super dark, super heavy energy. It just feels like this person has a persuasive sex kink, right? And it's not with other people. Again, you have the Emperor and the Empress. It's only with you. It's like we're in a committed connection. They fantasize about being in a committed connection with you if they aren't already, and being able to have sex with you when they want, and you being able to have sex with them when you want. Like having that level of comfort, being that familiar with one another and one another's boundaries, I guess, being familiar with what the boundaries are in the connection, to be able to just be comfortable enough to push for sex, even though the other person may not necessarily be in the mood. Like it's more like it's more like less, it's when I say less aggressive, it's more like this is a person that, when I said would wake you up with sex, like they would wake you up with oral, and they would like for you to do that as well. Or this is the type of person that will try to seduce you while you're mad at them, and like is okay with you doing that with them to calm them down. Like I said, it's up to you. Could be good, could be bad. It just depends on your boundaries, your perspective. But even if you look at the two top cards that I pulled just now, you have boundaries and productivity, and it's like with productivity following boundaries, it's almost like pushing past those boundaries. And yeah, they just genuinely fantasize late at night about you two not having boundaries with one another. I think it's about trust. Like they fantasize about having that level of trust with one another, that you can have your way with each other. Like making sure you're pleasing one another even when the other person may not be, I guess, like turned on already. So like, because this person doesn't want to be denied sex, but they don't want to deny you sex either. Like it's a mutual thing that they want. Like it's not one-sided of them wanting to be this hyper aggressive person pursuing sex constantly, making you uncomfortable. I don't get that you're uncomfortable in these scenarios, but again, that it is their fantasy, so of course you'd be down for whatever in their fantasies. So but with that 12th house energy, because it is a very dark energy, if you're familiar with synastry, 12th house synastry is intense. And this is exactly the type of things that would come up in that kind of connection. So like this person wants you to merge with one another, get lost within one another with that 12th house energy, right? That's a psychic, intuitive house. And honestly, if you have 12th house synastry with someone, you two probably don't have boundaries. Like that is your house of your subconscious. That is a house of like the aspects of yourself that you don't even acknowledge yourself, right? The things that happen in your 12th house, those are things you're not even completely honest about yourself regarding these topics that fall into your own personal 12th house. So if someone's planets fall into your 12th house, like to some degree, they almost know you better than you know yourself. Like they know things about you that you haven't told them. It's very deep, it's very intense, and it can be very toxic, depending on the people. But with this person that's fantasizing about you, they're fantasizing about you from that 12th house heavy perspective. And I bet you two have heavy 12th house synastry, just because it feels like that whole no boundaries, taboo kind of energy right now I'm getting from this pile, because I feel like I need to watch my words, because I don't want to say the wrong thing and then someone think that I'm pushing a scenario, pushing a narrative, approving of anything. This is just the energy that I'm reading, but that's the nature of this pile. That's the nature of this like connection between you two, that boundless energy, right? Knowing each other's secrets, knowing each other's taboo thoughts, each other's kinks, fetishes, like intuitively knowing when it's okay to push for sex, right? And even with that Libra in reverse, it's them fantasizing about a boundless connection with you, where you two just merge, where there's no rules, where there's no structure, where you two can explore freely, right? And like freely, and not just freely and boundless in the 12th house, but in that energy of the Fool's cards, because those cards represents new beginnings and freedom. They want to be able to do that with you, right? So, and they want it to be an adventure every time you two have sex, but it's all about being familiar, trust, and comfort with one another. So hopefully the way that I've been describing this is not too confusing. I almost wrapped this up and forgot about this other deck that I have sitting over here. That's the hesitation you sense. But because in the first two piles, I grabbed this additional deck and I pulled an oracle card to see, like, if I could just get like a wrap up of message. And I know I don't usually shuffle on camera, but today that's what we're doing. And I just want to see if I can get another card. The previous two piles, they got one card and an overview. So let's see what happens with pile 3 in terms of additional messages regarding this person's fantasies and connections. And boom, what did I say? Normal, I would shuffle this in a way in which everyone could see, but like the way that my camera is structured, I don't want to exactly what I just did, like knock it. So yeah. Now, the two cards that came up, interestingly enough, and it happens in every pile, and I'm not as surprised as I seem. I just like, I like to be right, in good instances, but like as I'm delivering messages, I like to like prove that I know what I'm talking about, because that's my nature. But you have awareness, and then you have control in reverse. So I was just talking about this person wanting a boundless connection, fantasizing about you two being comfortable and familiar with one another in such a way that things that are not necessarily acceptable in society would be okay in the connection. Like if you told your friends that like this person that you're in a relationship with like pushes for sex and you don't want to have sex, and then you end up having sex every time, they might look at you funny nowadays. But that's the nature of the connection. Like you don't feel like your boundaries are, you don't feel like a line has been, you may not feel like a line has been crossed, at least not in this person's fantasies. But I'm feeling like that's just the nature of this connection anyway, with that 12th house synastry. And it's okay for you two specifically, because that awareness of one another, that being familiar with one another, that connection that you two have, where you know the boundaries, you know like your boundaries aren't everyone else's boundaries. So it's okay in this connection for you. And if it's not, then obviously that's this person's fantasies, and run, because you two are not on the same page. But if this is the predominant energy I'm getting from the pile, is that this is a mutual energy between the two of you, right? Where you don't feel the need to control, which is why control is in reverse, right? You don't need to control the relationship. You're good being fluid, going with the flow. If they're down for sex, you're ready to get down for sex, and vice versa. It's just that awareness of one another, that you don't have to control or hold back or overly structure the connection, right? So interesting energy here. Energy that could get me into trouble. Sometimes I don't like the way the energies come through, because I'm like, ooh, this is not something that's necessarily quote unquote safe to discuss. But I mean, these pick a card sexual readings aren't necessarily the most safe topics to begin with, right? But you guys really like them, so I've been to the audience a little bit. I like to give you what you want to some degree, and this is where we are. So I think that is all I have for you today. Yeah, I don't have anything else from this pile. If this resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.